Many say that Virgil van Dijk alongside Sergio Ramos would form the perfect centre-back for a team. But what you probably don't know is that to become this legend, Virgil had to go through terrible things. Things that maybe you've also been through. And that left its mark, not only on the player's personality, but also on his shirt. You may have noticed that some players use their last name on the back of their uniform. A good example is Mohamed Salah. He is known worldwide as Salah. But in the case of Virgil is the opposite. The player does not use his last name, Van Dijk in uniform, and the story behind this is heartbreaking. But before we continue to understand what happened, go ahead and leave your like to strengthen our work and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Now let's go back to when Virgil was still a child and never dreamed he would become the greatest defender of all time. Virgil is the son of a Dutch man called Ron van Dijk and his mother Helen Virgil. At the beginning his family was like any other child in the Netherlands. Virgil still had 2 more brothers, and at that time they were all happy. But after a while problems started to happen. Ron, his father, started acting strange at home, and after a while he abandoned his family. He left his wife and 3 small children abandoned. Virgil and his brothers' luck is that their mother is a true warrior. Even though she has to leave every day to work full-time, at lunchtime she would come home to make food for her children and then go back to work. For sure this routine was tiring and stressful, but Helen didn't complain and did everything for her children. With time Virgil grew up and became able to work and help his mother with the house bills. He worked as a dishwasher in a restaurant, and in parallel he did what he loved the most. He played football. The love for football always existed, and since he was a child he spent hours with a ball at his feet. And, of course, it didn't take long for him to enter the youth ranks of some club. The team was Willem, which was close to his home. He didn't have a professional contract, although he trained for the club every day. Like his mother, Virgil also had a hectic routine. Twice a week after training he went to work in the restaurant for his second job. While many youngsters between 16 and 17 are being sold for thousands of euros to European clubs, Virgil had to wash dishes to help his mother at home. At that time he was not yet playing as a defender, but as a fullback. And it may sound like a joke, but at that time Virgil was short and physically weak. Looking at his physical shape today, it's hard to believe that he was once considered weak. And that was something that almost ended his career as a player. Everything seemed to conspire against Virgil, and his future in football seemed impossible. Jake Sleps, owner of the restaurant where the young man worked, once said that he even encouraged him to forget football and go wash pans because he was an excellent employee. And these words certainly affected the head of that young man who was going through financial difficulties at home. But something even worse was to come. The coach of Willem decided to dismiss Virgil from the club, because he thought that he did not have the physical qualities to become a good player. He was too slow and could not handle almost any ball dispute. And that must have been a tremendous shock for the boy. Because this was his best chance to get a professional contract for a better club, and now everything had gone down the drain. It seemed like the end of his story as a player. However, an unexpected opportunity happened. Groningen, another team in the Netherlands, signed the player, who was 18 years old at the time. Besides the new opportunity in football, he also had an impressive growth. He grew almost 20 centimeters in height in just 1 year. So that small, weak boy was now a strong athlete. He also started to play in another position, now as a defender. A year after being hired, he made his debut and scored 2 goals. But at the same time a ghost from his past returned, bringing back terrible memories. When Virgil started making a name for himself in football, guess who came along? If you thought of his father, you guessed right. After abandoning his mother with their 3 children, Ron van Dijk found another family and never even came to check on them again. And when Virgil started to become famous and make money, he wanted to get back together with his son. And what did he do? Did he forgive his father? And the answer is, no, he has not. And from that day on he stopped using the name Van Dijk on his uniform. He wanted to be known only as Virgil, because his father's surname did not deserve to be carried by him. And after 2 years in Groningen, Virgil was bought by Celtic, for only €2.7 million. And after 2 seasons at the Scottish team, he ended up at Southampton where he would play the so-dreamed Premier League. And it was with Virgil in the squad that Southampton went through one of its best seasons. A team that until then was average in the English Championship was able to fight for positions in the top of the table and even get a spot in the Europa League. And all this good performance was thanks to Virgil that was becoming a first-line player in European football. And it was exactly there that Virgil first caught the eye of the European giants. And it didn't take long for him to catch the eye of Liverpool, who were at the time restructuring under Jurgen Klopp. They signed Virgil in a historic transfer, where the Dutch became the most expensive defender of all time. And the rest of this story I believe you already know. Virgil won a Premier League, a Champions, and several individual titles. And really Virgil came to break records and make history. Now tell me in comments if you already knew this story of overcoming Virgil. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you very much and see you soon.